So my part is called Suit Up and Show Up. And this is kind of funny. I love that title. I love that line of suit up and show up. It forces you to assume some responsibility and do what you're supposed to do. And we would hope that if you do that, if you will take action, if you will start the universe moving in a positive direction, that something's going to happen that's going to work out well for you. And the first person who spoke years and years ago, back when we were in Promised Land Church, we had a girl who spoke with that topic, and suit up and show up, and she was scheduled to speak, and she didn't show up. We've only had 2 people in all of our years, 15 years of existence, who didn't show up to speak, and she was one of them. It was just so funny. She came the next week, but she'd already blown the title. All right, suit up and show up. The job search process is a lot, I think, a huge part of the job search process is suiting up and showing up. And I use that in the new member orientation frequently, and I say that how important I think it is for you to create a SWAT team, a small group of people that help each other find jobs. And I liken it to when you're running a marathon. Those of you who have run a marathon, you probably did not train for that marathon by yourself. You had a team. And the days when it was cold and wet and bleak and you really didn't feel like running, you were going to sleep in that day. But you didn't, because the team was waiting for you. And you owed it to them to suit up and show up. And that's the least you can do. Suit up and show up and get out there. And then once you do it, you're glad you did, because they were counting on you, and you had to do it, and then you stuck with the program, and that's kind of how a SWAT team is with the job search. And nobody enjoys this. Anybody having fun? I'm thinking not. This sucks. And the hardest part about job hunting, I believe, is the keeping going. And for those of you who came through these programs and went out and found a job, you thought you were done. I'm employed. Here you are, again, and again, and again. We have some people who've been laid off 4 times. And
9.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
9 times. And yet, many people, in fact, this is the sad story of a lot of you, you had a job for 20 years. And then the last 10, 15 years, ever since the dot-com bust, you haven't had a job longer than 2 years or whatever, because now the economy just goes change, and it's so volatile, and getting those jobs where you can stay for a long time becomes harder and harder. And so there's no safe place, sort of. You're looking for a home where you can stay and grow and feel secure enough to come up with new ideas, and then there's a reorg, and you're not part of it, and it's like, wow, I'm back here again. I mean, we always have mixed emotions when I see returnees, because I'm happy to see you, but it's like, oh wow, one more time of going through this process. And people generally get smarter. If I have time, I'll read you a letter from our Vice President, Jim Adcock, who just he went through unemployment, I think 3 or 4 times, and now he's back with another job, and figured out this last time, did something that got him a job within 24 hours. So it's like, duh, next time I'm starting with that one, with that method. So anyway, getting out there and doing this again, suiting up, going to bed early, getting up early, doing something positive for yourself, getting out, talking to people, going through the process again and again and again. It's tough, and that's why SWAT teams are helpful. That's why some sort of an accountability structure is helpful, suiting up and showing up. So, does this look like your job search?
So you don't have to actually wear a suit?
You do not have to get up every day and actually wear a suit. It just means sort of dressing somewhat professionally, not anything like a suit, not even business casual necessarily when it's 110 degrees outside. But people have got to be able to visualize you employed, and not visualize you holding a sign. So you have to, you have to look somewhat okay. But always, being clean, but mentally too. You're being evaluated, John?
I think you need to visualize yourself as being employed.
Yes. Yes, and that's one of the reasons that Leap to Success is so helpful because I'm telling you, if you feel as though you are not marketable, nobody's ever going to hire you, it's such a blow to your confidence when you lose a job. And when you go into a Leap to Success project, you're the smartest guy in the room, and they are so grateful to have you there to improve their website or write their copy or create a business plan or whatever you do, and they're just so grateful that somebody with your kind of qualifications is there to help their little nonprofit, and it really is a huge boost to your ego. So yeah, something so that you feel employed. So this is you may not be able to see this, but the job search often when you're home, it's just you're surrounded by clutter and paper and that part is depressing. This is how I look when I'm on a phone interview. Just you're surrounded by sticky notes and things poked up so you can see it and everything. Or maybe this, and I was only going to use this Homer Simpson one because I really thought that looked like lots of people in their job search. They just can't do it, and so they just veg out. But this guy at least has a laptop on his belly, so I thought he was more appropriate. But you have to get out more. The opportunities rarely come to your home. You have to get out and you have to mix and you have to mingle and you have to talk to people and create those networks and be in a place. You have to just like a seed. You throw it out on concrete. It's in a place where it's never going to grow. You throw it out in a place that at least gets some dirt, some nutrients, and some water. It has a chance. And when you just spend your entire job search in your home, at the computer or whatever, you're like a seed that's on concrete. You might get something, but your chances are better if you will spend part of your job search time out and about. Get out more. Oh, not that. Not getting out and holding a sign. Okay. Suit up and show up. So in some cases, it's professional networking opportunities. In this, the other example is a class. You need to have a plan, obviously. This is one of my very favorite quotes. I think it comes from The Little Prince. A goal without a plan is just a dream. And so if your goal is to get another job and you don't have a plan for how you're going to get at that job, you're just dreaming. You're hoping you're going to get struck by lightning. You're hoping that somebody's gonna see you from across the room. It's gonna be like a West Side Story. The employer, you, everybody else kind of fades in the distance. The music starts. You and the employer. It's not happening like that. That's just a dream. Okay, you gotta have a plan. So some kind of a schedule. I encourage you to get up early and have a list of things, job search activities that you're going to make sure you take care of that day, and then make it a reachable list. And then once you've done those things, then go have fun. There's so many cool ways to have fun in Austin. I cannot emphasize that too much. Brian I love Brian. Brian comes to my little job club, my job club North, and he has figured out so many cool ways to have fun while he's looking for a job. He's getting free meals, free movie tickets. He's volunteering, doing fun stuff. He's really making the most of this opportunity to just kind of chill out and have a good time while he looks for a job and does all the other stuff as well. So I'm trying to get him to make a presentation of how to milk this for fun. So you have planned activities, and then you have the serendipitous, unplanned, putting yourself in a place where something might happen activities. So things that you schedule, job search classes, SWAT team meetings. The two biggest networking meetings in Austin are Network After Work and High Tech Happy Hour. I believe they're on your stuff to do list. High Tech Happy Hour costs you $5, but you get 2 free drinks out of that as well. Network After Work costs between $12 and $15, but it's not just tech, it's everybody, and everybody is there to meet other people, and so it makes it really easy for people to strike up conversations with each other. I highly recommend both of those. Professional association meetings, going to job clubs, taking skill classes like through Consulting Solutions or St. Ed's or whatever, improving your skills. All of those are planned activities. You put them on a calendar, you make sure you do them. Exercise, everybody ought to be having some kind of an exercise program as a way to deal with stress, a way to start looking better in your interview suit, and I have no doubt better in your birthday suit, but better. So all of those things are planned activities that get you out of the house, get you talking to people, get you doing things that I think are going to be beneficial to your job search. In fact, I'll tell you about Jim Adcock's story. So he sent a letter to our Yahoo group. I won't read the whole thing, but each time he has been laid off, he has gotten smarter about how to look for a job. And one of the pieces of advice that we have been given by recruiters is that you should connect with as many recruiters as you can. You should have your list of companies that you want to work for, and then immediately go into LinkedIn and connect with all the recruiters that you can from those various companies. That when those recruiters are looking for people, if you are in their network as a first degree contact, your chances of getting called in by them and matched and so forth are dramatically improved. And so everybody does that. So he said he looked through his LinkedIn network, and he was connected to 400 recruiters. And he whittled that list down to 200 recruiters that he felt knew who he was and what he did, or people he had worked with before. He sent an email, a targeted email, to all 200 of those recruiters saying, I am now available, you may remember me, I'm an expert on SharePoint, and these are the kinds of jobs that I'm looking for. I was just laid off, my job was eliminated. And sometimes they would express interest, and sometimes they would say, yeah, we're trying to set up something, keep in touch, maybe a week or two, and we'll get something. So he was unemployed 4 weeks, and it's like, what's the deal? This should be working faster. And so when he was laid off the first time that I ever met him, I told you in your handbook, one of the things we tell you to do is to create a reputation for yourself as an expert in your field. And one of the ways that you do that is to write a blog. So he started a blog that had 2 topics. It was looking for a job in Austin, what's that like? And then also trying to establish himself as an expert in SharePoint. And he really was not at that time an expert in SharePoint. He was reading books. He was growing into that level of expertise. But he would write in his blog that he had joined the SharePoint user group in Austin, and then a few months later he joined the SharePoint user group in San Antonio. And then he would write about in his blog about the various speakers that they had and what he was learning from them and how that was similar to something he had just read in an article or whatever. And so eventually he became a speaker at both of those organizations and created such a reputation for himself as an expert in SharePoint that when companies would need a SharePoint person, they would say, I know this guy who knows a bunch of SharePoint people, contact Jim Adcock. And sometimes he would say, well, I'm available, I'll take that job. And sometimes he would recommend somebody else. But he was successful in creating a reputation. And he called himself the SharePoint therapist. And that was his little slogan. So instead, since the recruiter thing wasn't panning out the way he expected, he went into his network, his LinkedIn network, and he contacted everybody that he knew that he had met through his SharePoint meetings. Everybody he had ever helped get a job, everybody he knew who was in the SharePoint community, and said, do you know someone that's hiring? Do you know someone that's looking? And 24 hours later, he had a job offer. So if he had not suited up and showed up and joined those groups and put himself in a place where he would meet those people, it probably wouldn't have happened. There are user groups and meetups all over Austin in your career field. And you should just go into meetup.com. Built in Austin, when you look at their activities, it'll say, here's who's coming, and it says, here's all the meetups that they're in. Click on their meetups and see what meetups are these people in. Are these things that would be appropriate for me? I'm going to start going to those. They're free meetings. One girl I saw who was hosting something on Built in Austin, she was a member of 28 meetups, and at first I thought, what the heck is that all about? Nobody could go to that many meetings. But it's like she has shown up at 28, and it tells you this is how many people are members of this meetup. Some of them are for fun, some of them are professional in nature. But suit up, show up, go to meetings, go to speeches. Did any of you go see Hugh Forrest speak at the New York Design and something Academy? It was last night, I think. Anybody go to that? Or maybe it was the night before? No? Really? He was on your stuff to do list. I know Marjorie Arnold went there. Marjorie goes to almost everything I put on stuff to do. And every single time she has gone to one of those, she's ended up with an interview from somebody that she has talked to at one of those meetings. It can't hurt. All right. So plan things. And then spontaneous. Get out and focus on somebody besides yourself. Go help a friend. I helped a friend move. He had just started a new job he used to be a college professor, but he was getting a new job as an instructor at the Cabelli School. And the people, so he had some of the Cabelli teachers that were helping him move as well. One of them, two really interesting people. One had been an actuary, was now a math teacher. He told me about somebody that he knew that was looking for people, so I got some job leads out of that guy. And one of them was their fine arts dean, who had been a dancer. She traveled all around the world studying indigenous dance steps or something like that. But really interesting, and she told me some cool things that were going on in the creative world of Austin. So anytime you put yourself out there and you meet people, it's gonna be a valuable resource. It may not lead to a job, but it's gonna expand your network to people that are interesting. Take a hike, meet people on the hike. Don't ever talk to the same person all the time. Meet as many people as you can. Go to meetups, go to mixers. They have lots of things. Companies will have little mixers, get to know us. Go to those. How many of you do dancing, do country western dancing or ballroom dancing or whatever? Raise your hands higher so I can actually see that. 1, 2, all the skinny people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Those places are wonderful because they force you to dance with other people and to meet other people, and you're having fun and you're having exercise and you're meeting people. John?
I used to shag and pretzel when I was in college, and it's swing dancing. And I hadn't done it in years, and there's a big swing dancing community now in Austin I found out about. The Austin Women's Fed has dance lessons at 8 o'clock on Thursdays for $6. And there are a million people there, a lot of young people, but older folks too. And you can learn the steps, and I just started doing that. I also just lost 25 pounds. So.
I'm telling you, that's multitasking. It's combining things with lots of different outcomes. So all of those things are great. Concerts and lectures and volunteering. We've had lots of people volunteer, and those volunteer jobs have ended up in job offers, doing something that you care about. So all of those things are good as well. And there are many, many other things of just putting yourself out there. Steve Newper was one of our people who was a network administrator and had been out of the workforce for 3 years because his dad had gotten sick, and he'd nursed his dad until he died. And so, trying to get back into a technical job, very difficult. He'd been putting in applications and trying and not getting any luck at all. And he's a big Sierra Club guy. He's also a dancer, country western dancer, and I think he became a dance instructor. But he was on a Sierra Club thing in a canoe, and the guy on the other end of the canoe said, "What do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a network administrator, but I'm looking for a job. I don't have one right now." And the guy said, "Well, we're looking for a network administrator at our company. Come work for us." That was that. Suit up and show up. Even if the suit is a bathing suit, suit up and show up,